SGC here, and we are back for a BNA review, and we are back for number 4 of BIFF of still 26. Will I add more? Maybe, maybe not. But anyways, this is Twilight's Kiss.
我嚟香港嗰陣時，乜都冇，兩手空空。
預備好3、2、1，笑。
而家有層樓，有頭家，都算係咁啦。
爺爺，
唉，
你肯退休嘅話，日日都可以接麗麗啦。
退休冇啩，日日望天打卦，而家咪幾好。
From Hong Kong, came out this year, 2020, 93 minutes, and it's directed by Yeung. Strangely enough, I mean, I looked up the actual Chinese name for it. It's like uncle, as in like sok. So it's like a 2019 award-winning and critically acclaimed Hong Kong drama film, and it's interesting because it's about two secretly homosexual married men in their twilight years. I don't know if you know, but in Hong Kong, like homosexuality is really the whole issue. I'm not even gonna get into, but I'm glad that this movie exists. The original title Sok Sok was changed to Twilight's Kiss, which is interesting for the US and Canadian North American distribution. So yeah, I haven't seen anything done by Yeung, so I can't say much about that. Let's see, did it win stuff? Hong Kong Directors Guild Award, Best Actor. Hong Kong Screenwriters Guild Award, Best Screenplay. Rolled in the Screenplay. And then Hong Kong Film Critics, Best Film, Best Actor. Hong Kong Film Awards, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress. So yeah, so it won a lot of awards. So I'm pretty happy that this was, in BIFF. It originally was released back in May of 2020, so like 3 months ago. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Hopefully it'll be lighthearted enough, and good drama. I mean, it's not gonna be lighthearted, but feel good for them type of thing. With everything that I've seen so far with all the 3 movies. But anyways, so yeah, thanks for the recommendations online again. So checking this out. Anyways, that's it. This is before, and this is after. Okay, we're finished. I don't know how to approach this. I think the majority of this type of film, this gay love story, romance, drama, it always have so much more in terms of the actual romance. So let's just have a talk about that first. So the actual romance is interesting. Like, you have 2 seniors in Hong Kong, which is a place where, looking at a gay person too long might make you gay. Like, obviously I'm exaggerating, but there is that mindset where they just really shun the gay community in that city. And for this movie to exist is great for representation. I mean, granted, this is a mainstream gay film, more so like, Call Me By Your Name, Moonlight, that kind of vibe. And there's a lot of nuance in this. Like, granted, I saw this and I was like, oh, a gay movie. And then this is before being recommended both Prince Edward and this one. So I was gonna skip it, and then so I'm glad I got recommended and actually watched it. Because it's just, this is the newer wave of film, as some would call it, for Hong Kong, where it's these small, gentle, and really realistic, close to home type of films. I mean, like, seriously, everything beyond the gay love story a typical Hong Konger would experience. Like hearing about marriage, looking for work, dealing with grandkids, the church aspect of things. Like, I don't know how many Christians there are in Hong Kong, but like, I'm actually surprised that Yeung wrote in that one of the characters' the son's family were Christians, and they had an actual scene at a service. Like that touches home, because that is what happens. Like, there's so many Hong Kongers that are churchgoers, family living with their parents. Like, that is so real. Like, the moment it really connected was like, these characters are literally Hong Kongers. There's no exaggeration, no overacting. All the nuances is there, and it's just great acting from everybody. Like the director of Ray Yeung directing even the children, their lines, and just the kids of these families, like the parent kids, and just the nuances of family structure, the Hong Kong work and marriage life culture, the faith culture, and my favorite scene, I don't normally talk about favorite scenes, but really stood out was the wet market comparison of supermarkets. Like, where the two of them go to a wet market and they talk. And the subtle banter of the wet market stall owners of like, hey, you didn't touch my veggies too much this today or whatever. I'll give you a discount. And there's that haggling. That is so Hong Kong, from what I remember. I mean, I don't know, does it still happen today? Maybe. Probably, because wet markets are still a thing, and if you know the person well enough, they'll maybe, give you a deal of like $5 or $10 off HK dollars. So yeah, like, there's so many levels of things here where you peel it back like an onion, where like, yeah, you can just see this as a gay love story and that's it. But there's so much. It uses this vehicle, and it talks about marriage, the Hong Kong culture of those things, and it ties it so well. It never feels forced. And the gay love scenes are, typical mainstream, artistically done, not showing too much, is not graphic. And it's like balancing that line of melodrama. Like, if you have seen movies long enough, you can pick, like, okay, this is when this is gonna happen. Like, there were so many moments in this film where I'm like, oh my god, please don't go there. And I'm so glad it doesn't go there. Like, that is just great directing and writing, because like, you could have totally taken like a turn and melodrama and, PSA it all and just be like, here, let me punch through the wall with my theme and lesson of life. But there isn't. It's more subtle, and it's nuanced, and you really feel the characters as they experience this. Like, typical romance movies has that trajectory of, first meeting each other, oh my god, it's so great, you're so different from like the rest of my family or friends, let's hooked up, it's great, and it like rises, and then something happens, like, oh my god, you're with him, oh my god, I'm married, oh my god, you're cheating on your wife, husband, blah blah, misunderstanding, and then it breaks apart, and they're like, oh, actually I still love you, and they somehow get back together and everyone's happy. And there isn't that. It could have been there. And it sort of follows that, but in a more realistic sense of, people just drift. And I do enjoy that. And there is some PSA moments of just like understanding how, gays in Hong Kong exist. Like, that's a fact. Like, with that many people, gays are gonna be there. You can't just be like, well, it never can't be, like, these people are just messed up. Like, just crawl back into your hole if you think that, gays don't deserve anything and they're not normal or whatever. Like, these people are gonna exist no matter how you see them, so, move on. And I like how it touches just the mindset of these seniors, because in the end of the movie, I think it is kind of heavy-handed, but it is a realistic sort of like a shout out to be like, hey, this is our problem. Like, with the Chinese Hong Kong culture, these gays that were gay sort of like wet and, just closed themselves off from the world, from the real self, and they just, existed with what the society wanted, which is, getting married, working hard, and providing for your families to your grandchildren. But like, yeah, one of the lines was like, yeah, my spouse is dead, my kids moved out, I have grandkids who don't care about me. Can I live as myself now? Like, what are you supposed to say to these people? So I feel like this is a good sort of like, hey, we exist, But then it doesn't melodrama it. It definitely could have done that again. So I'm really happy with Ray Young's writing and directing, where he just balanced that line where he approaches the topic to the point where it's like, oh, it's almost there, but then he just doesn't go in that melodrama, but he just treats it like how it's really gonna be, is that nothing comes out of it, as in these lines were said, it could have been really dramatic, but it doesn't go down that route, and I do appreciate that. And yeah, like, I think the biggest thing for this movie is that all these characters are real Hong Kongers, and that is great. Like, no one felt overact. And then you can see the nuance of like their love for each other in terms of like the family, the marriage, the gay love story, all those nuance where it's like subtle and you understand where they're coming from. And it's very easy to justify everyone's sort of perspective. Like, why is the wife like this? Why is this kid or that grandkid is like this? Why are they like that? So it's just really impressive of just that balancing act. And it is hard to watch for me because I feel like this newer wave of Hong Kong films is because, because of what's happening with the actual city and its politics and everything, the limitation of budgeting and just like what stories can be told, is that you have these really hard-hitting real life narratives. Prince Edward was about getting married and just dealing with the whole fallout of like, do I want to get married just because I'm old, or do I marry because I actually love you, and all that stuff. And here it's also like that in a sense as well, where it's like, I found you, but my life can't deal with it. Like, my family can't figure this out, can't find out, that type of thing. Well, anyways, I enjoyed this. It is interesting. It is called Twilight's Kiss, and in Cantonese it's called Sok Sok, which is basically like uncle, and like either like an uncle that I always forget the nuance between like the English usage and the Cantonese usage of uncle. Like, sometimes you can call like a family friend uncle, and then the English sometimes you just call an actual relative uncle. But Sok Sok could be anybody really. It's just like like an old guy, friend or family. Anyways, yeah, good job all around for the cast, directing. Cinematography was fine. It's not like super far out, but I do appreciate the shots that they used. They lingered a lot longer. I do wish that Ray Young brought back like a full circle, sort of like in your face that this is a full circle type of thing. There was one shot where I thought it was going to end the movie because I didn't see the navigation bar, but there was still a long way to go. But I was like, if it ended here, I would have been, okay. Anyways, done deal. Another VIFF down. I am cutting it close because I do have like today's the 1st. VIFF ends on the 7th, so still got a ways to go. Anyways, keep liking, keep watching, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. And that's it for this BNA of Twilight's Kiss. Stay safe and healthy. Out.